afternoon to you, rugby fans. Welcome to Yale University, home of the Yale Bulldogs. You see the Yale coaching staff starting to walk on the field as the players in blue and white, the home team, get ready for their first game of the season. They are going to be taking on the Lions of Columbia. Ivy League matchup, also a National Collegiate Rugby matchup. Yale players getting themselves pumped up. I am John Broker bringing you this matchup today here at the Yale Rugby Complex in New Haven, Connecticut. Beautiful Westville section of town. As two storied programs get ready to go head-to-head here in this first matchup of the season. We will talk a bit more about these teams as we go along. We are ready to get underway, and as I said, in the dark blue, dark navy, Yale blue, I suppose you would say, and white are the Bulldogs, coached by Craig Wilson. We will talk a bit more about Coach Wilson and his staff throughout the game here as we take a look at Miles McIver, the referee for today's contest. Miles, very good referee in the Connecticut area in the Northeast. Very well regarded, as you see Columbia coming over to take the other side of the field. Also in a bit more white and some blue on this next level rugby production. Very hot Saturday afternoon here in New Haven, Connecticut. 95 degrees is the real feel, or a little more. A lot of humidity, a bit of a heat wave for this time of year. To be interesting to see how these teams deal with that. Yale fielding a bit of an inexperienced team due to some illness and injury in the early season here. So they're going to have to work through that. Columbia in the light blue and navy blue here. Going to get set to kick off, running from right to left on your screen. Next level rugby set to bring you Yale rugby this season. Let's see a Liberty Conference matchup here. Both teams play in the Liberty. Just getting ourselves underway. Referee McIver makes sure everybody is set. And the 2023 Yale Bulldog season is underway. Kickoff comes to them. Straight to the ground goes hooker Chance Flanagan. He'll be wearing number 19. Ball quickly turned over by the Lions. Columbia at the Yale 22. Ball squirts out. Not a surprise with this kind of heat and humidity we have. A little cut back in there from Jack Stemmerman, the number 8. Stemmerman, the sophomore from Greenwich, Connecticut. Ball moves out to another waiting pod. Yale Bulldogs waste no time running this, keeping it a bit tight. Looking at some space on the right-hand side. You can see the players queuing up. Ball into the hands of Drew Friedman in the number 7 jersey. Back inside the 22, then they go to the boot. Ball's gone back in, so they cannot kick it directly in a cut or would lose any ground. Here comes Columbia, little pop-up in the air. Kicking game underway already. Just outside their 22 are the Bulldogs. Launch that one downfield. It's just outside the 22 of Columbia. Kicking game working well. Aiden Stretch put that one down for Yale. Turned by the Lions with interest. Just about 5 meters out from the line. Ball cross. Deciding what to do with the Bulldogs here. They're going to take it for a run. No lack of endeavor for this Bulldogs team early on as Dom Gearing gets taken high, so it'll be a penalty for the Bulldogs. There's one to go quick, but wisely slowing it down there is Aiden Stretch, saying let's kick this downfield, take a line out, get a better attacking position and an opportunity to put a set play out there at that time. Do just that much, pushing the ball down just outside the 40-meter line. Referee McIver talking to the teams to make sure first line-out instructions are given. Yeah, with a 5-man line-out, 3 going to walk in. Very popular setup these days. Front of the line out they go, starting nice and simple. Ball comes out there from Falco Emery, number 9. Big pass up there to Friedman. Friedman gains some ground. He's across the 40. Ball comes out here just a little to the left. Ball up in the air. Player down on it there for Columbia. Queuing up for the run. Ball out here nearly taken away by the Bulldogs. Working their way backwards are the Lions at the moment. Coming back inside their 22. Looking like they're going to kick, and they will. Referee whistles it. However, we're going to come back for an infraction inside the 22. Referee McIver spotted the knock on there. Going to be a scrum for Yale. Wonderful attacking position, just about 22 meters out from the Columbia line with a wide open side of the field. Actually, Columbia ball, pardon me. Going to be Jamie Palmer to put this one in. It was a infraction there, knock on the Bulldogs. First scrum of the game. We will see how the teams handle the pressure. Good early squeeze there from the Lions. And some inexperienced players in that Yale forward pack there, so dealing with some new players due to injury and illness. Ball comes up, winds up back in the hands of Chance Flanagan. Flanagan gets hauled down, pops the ball up in the end. Stemmerman hands off one. Stemmerman, he gets across the 40-meter line. Players are diving in from Columbia. Referee spots it. He's going to start it up. Yale going to go quick, however. Big Liam Varela, the captain's going to take that one. Varela from Napa, California, junior statistics and data science major. Takes that one into the 22, tackled again. Referee wants to have just a bit of a word with the captains. Players coming off their feet there. Referee has a word. I believe that was with Aaron McPepple Jaja, the captain of Columbia. Demerman, the number 8, to throw this ball in. As he's wait for a ball here at the beautiful Yale Rugby Complex here in New Haven, Connecticut. Great attacking position for the Bulldogs. You can see the try line just in the back there. Ball goes up to Varela. Don't see props jumping all that often, but today you will as Varela goes up, the captain. Driving towards it. A referee's good look on it. Columbia player is on the ground. We'll see what the referee deems. Ball going to come back Bulldog way. Bulldogs go out in the backs here. Get the ball into Friedman's hands. Friedman takes it to the ground. Ball up for Falco Emery. Emery looking for some runners. He's got McClellan. McClellan has to put a little bit of a flat pass into his center there. Walton quickly hit by an on-rushing Columbia Lions defense. Another forward pod in. Only go to the ground that time. Ball back out. McClellan looking for it. Doesn't quite get it. Little misconnection there. Comes up to Atkinson. Yale not making much of this so far, but maintaining possession. Ball just out in front of McClellan that time. McClellan looking for some runners. Finds him in Heyman. Nick Heyman tries to hand off a couple. Player from Columbia trying to roll away. And does. Ball to McClellan again. Going to go to the boot this time inside the 22. Not going to be inside the 22, so can't take a mark. Ball gets knocked on by Yale. Going to come back for that. It'll be a scrum for the Columbia Lions right at their own 22. Take another look at the knock on there. Player coming down. It just saw it. Hit it a little bit forward around the 22, so it's going to result in a Columbia scrum here. And Jamie Palmer to put this one in. Really good drive from Columbia, looking strong in that area early on. A little pass in behind, goes the hand, looking for the little tip pass back. Doesn't work. They're inside their 22. Have to go to the boot to the Lions. Lions put that one up. Going to get across the 22 and into the hands. One of the waiting Bulldogs going to back for an offsides penalty against Columbia inside their own 22. Yale looking to take this one quick potentially. Moving on just a second is Aiden Stretch, the captain, intelligent player, the junior from Washington, D.C. Played football and lacrosse at St. Albans School before coming to Yale University, and they're going to go for the post, try to put some points on the board. Just about 8 minutes gone in this contest. Bit of back and forth play from each team. First game of the season, really. First game of the season, absolutely, for Columbia. Yale played and beat Coast Guard last week, so got a bit of a warm-up game in there. But again, has had to make some changes. Lining up for the kick, you can hear Coach Craig Wilson, also the contact coach, talking to his players about some positioning they're going to need. Ball is up. Kick is no good according to the assistant referees. We are at 0-0. Just about 9 minutes gone now. It's going to be a 22 drop for the Columbia Lions. Opportunity for them. A referee just waiting for a ball to appear, and Columbia decided they want to do with it. They're going to go from the 22 just a little bit deeper inside. Don't make much ground. Looking for a couple of runners. Little pass there to Stemmerman, just in behind. He's able to handle it. Well hit at the end. Going to be able to recycle the Bulldogs. Bulldogs moving off to the left-hand side. Varela, the captain, puts a little tip pass up there to Big Gus Buck. Aptly named Big Fella. Ball comes across to the left-hand side. Bobbled forward off of the hands of Walton, so it's a scrum advantage to Columbia. We're going to come back in these wet conditions. Oh, I thought the referee blowing the whistle. Pardon me. That's going to continue, but now it's going to stop. No advantage gains. Going to be a scrum here for Columbia. Wet conditions really playing a factor here in the ball. Hot and humid day like this. Unusual for this time of year. See the two scrums start to get together there. Bulldogs front row of Varela, Flanagan, and Buck. Two junior props and a sophomore hooker. Hooker from Allen, Texas. Went to Allen High School, played golf there. History major at Yale University. Ball back to the number 8's feet. Jasper Luddington for Columbia. Ball gets away from Palmer. Bounces on the ground. Yale players trying to dive on it. Just across the 22 come the Lions. Probably going to have to kick with one, but turned over by the Bulldogs. Great attacking position. There's room out to this left-hand side if they can move it. Buck decides he'd rather go straight in. He's got his front row partner Varela with him. Now ripped away by the Lions. The Lions moving it out for that left-hand side. Player just a bit isolated. Hit by Nick Heyman. Heyman gets him to the ground. At the 22 they come. A couple of broken Bulldog tackles this time. Yale player on the ground. May need a bit of attention back there. They're going to keep playing as the ball stays away from that area. Ball squirts back up into Yale hands. They're driving straight across the 22. Player being attended to, but not in the way, so they're going to keep moving. A little pick and go. They have to get some bodies on top of that, and they do. Columbia players do well to roll away there. Ball to McClellan. McClellan sees stretch, sees space, gets himself in. Louise Halverson comes in, rucks over that one. Ball just laying there. Eventually picked up by Falco Emery. Penalty against Yale. They had some ball there, just couldn't quite move it quick enough. There was opportunity for good quick ruck ball and a couple of pods out there. Unfortunately, just a little indecision among some of these less experienced Yale players creeping in this first game of the season. Expect this to change as the players' health comes right in the coming weeks, but it's going to be another penalty here for the Columbia Lions inside their own 22. The Yale player just getting with that. Seems to be okay. Columbia clears their lines. Most of the play in these past few minutes has been down inside and around the 22 of the Columbia Lions. They'll be happy to be in a different part of the field for a while.
Relax, boys. Relax. It's good for now. Go Yale. Stay warm, but we have a good shot. Someone go get that ball. Look at that smile.
Columbia to put this one in. Ball out of the back of a decoy runner. Ball thrown directly forward. Not sure if the referee spotted that one. He's going to let it ride. It looked like the Columbia player just threw it straight forward. Bit hard to see. Turned over anyway by the Bulldogs. Bulldogs on the move. There's some one-out runners here. That's Atkinson goes in. Atkinson, a junior from Bronxville, New York. Multi-sport high school athlete. Off to this left-hand side they go through Liam Varela. Varela, the prop, finding some space. Quick pick and go. Gathers him some more. Columbia defense regathering. McClellan now to the right-hand side. He's got a couple of runners. Ball slips out of the hands, however. Hard luck there for Dominic Gearing, sophomore from Austin, Texas. Dripping Springs High School product. Knocks it on. It's going to get another scrum down here to the Columbia Lions. We take another look. See the Columbia defense there resetting pretty well. Shaped to run. They've got this midfield forward pod, but just a little out in front of Gearing. Can't hang on to it. Had a tip runner outside him. Might have had some space, but unlucky not to get there. As well set down for another Columbia scrum. Scrum comes tumbling down, but referee McIver says that's fine. We're going to play it. Crash move to get started from the Columbia backline. Ball squirts around, eventually picked up by Pump. Build forward. Scrum advantage here for the Yale Bulldog. Chance Flanagan takes that one. Up to McClellan. He's been looking to go wide with these. They're going to go around the back, looking for some space. Is it open for him? Ball gets out to the wing, but chipped over the head there. Tough luck for Luis Halverson. Halverson, the junior from Miami, Florida, went to Belen Jesuit. Just knocks that ball forward. Waiting for some players to get set here. Referee having a little bit of a conversation. Two legendary teams here. Yale Rugby, founded in 1875. It's one of the oldest rugby teams in North America from this sport. And right near this field that you see here is where John Heisman and Walter Camp developed it into a different sport, now known as football/American football. A bit of a change there, but a lot of rugby history within about 500 yards of this field that you're looking at right now. And continuous since 1875 is this Yale rugby program. Penalized there are the Bulldogs as Columbia will be able to take advantage of this one. Downfield it goes, or the 40-meter line of the Bulldogs. Still 0-0, 16 minutes gone. Referee McIver has a couple of words here. Making sure everything's set, making sure the line is coming in correctly. 5-man line out this time from Columbia. Same walk-in setup as the Bulldogs were using. Trying to go to the front. Bulldogs unable to thwart that. Out to the back line they go. Nice little short pass to get them started. It's a little wraparound play. This time to the boot they go. Ball rolls across the 22-meter line. A little bit to handle here for the Bulldogs. Has been done, no problem. They launch that one in the safety touch. A little bit of a territory gain there for the Lions. Just a chance to slow it down and reset for the Bulldog defense.
That's like a so. It's like in hockey we do. So
Referee McIver kind enough to get the ball there. Columbia looks to the middle. Yale will not contest this one. Ball is down. Backs are free to come forward. Good pressure from Yale. They moved them back about 40 meters. Huge knockdown comes down into the hands of Halverson. Halverson's got the room to run. Halverson loses the ball just before the 22 knocks it on. Back into the hands of Columbia. Chance gone away there for this Yale Bulldogs team. On top of that, they commit a penalty right at the 22, diving over. So it will be Columbia ball. Just unlucky for Halverson there. Ball pops up in the air into his hands, makes a nice break. Can't convert, can the Bulldogs. It doesn't make touch, however. Comes down in the hands of Halverson. It was Heyman that made that break. I may have said Halverson. My apologies. Another knock on there from the Bulldogs. Wet, steamy day. These things may happen. It's going to be a scrum here for Columbia. Referee McIver at about 20 minutes calls for a water break. Based on the heat here, both teams a chance to hydrate, have a little discussion with their coach for just about a minute. We're going to step away while that happens. We'll be back with the rest of this half in just a moment.
the back three, when the back three are up. So it's an old league rule. So for Union, it's a 50-22. So if I kick it from behind here, it bounces in and goes out past the 22. And so if I kick it straight out from here, they get the line out where I kicked it. The only time they get the line out where it goes out is if I'm behind the 22 or it's a penalty. And we get the line out on the penalty. Now, the 50-22 that bounces inside. It's a tough play. No, we're not. That's something that comes up very rare at this level. Very rare.
Welcome back. The water break is done. And ladies and gentlemen, you are looking at a legend of Yale rugby. That is Ralph Bosch, going to be inaugurated into their Hall of Fame this fall. Ralph Bosch, 77 graduate of Yale University, captain of the football team, played at rugby for a long time, instrumental in this program. Just glad I never had to scrum against him back in the day. That is what a legend looks like as we get ready for the water break to end and move forward. Referee McIver whistles. Let's get started again. We're going to start with a scrum here for Columbia. This first 20 minutes, a little back and forth. Both teams just kind of easing into their season a little bit here with that rust that comes with it. Ball knocked on every now and again. Heat and humidity certainly not helping out, nor helping out with the crowd here at the Yale rugby field. Bit of a hot day to face these elements. Luddington gets ready Palmer gets ready. You see Luddington at the back there. And on this near side, Aaron McPepple-Jaja, the captain and flanker, went to Eton High School, college they would call it in England. Now playing at Columbia, has played rugby all his life there. Also designed the jerseys according to his notes. Referee McIver spots a penalty against Yale. Another opportunity here for this Columbia team. Columbia unable to find touch. It's been a bit of a problem for him today. That ball went back. Yale's going to launch it downfield. Going to keep this one inside of their own half. Come the Lions. Lions at the 40. met with a big challenge from one of the Bulldogs players there, able to recycle. Defense rushing up on him there, forced the knock-on. Knock-on advantage here for the Bulldogs. They'll have to take one of these opportunities. Great one again. They've had some width around this Columbia defense. Haven't been able to use it yet. McClellan's going to go to the boot this time. McClellan from St. Louis, Missouri, with the St. Louis University High School. Playing fly half here for the Bulldogs. It's the one down near the try line. Ball backed up. Aiden Stretch. Played a Liberty Conference All-Star. Played an NCR All-Star as well. Bulldogs looking out. Get the ball there to Chance Flanagan. Carried quite a few times so far in this half. Ball coming out a little wider. McClellan gets the ball down into the hands of Heyman. Heyman puts it up. Little technical difficulty here. Be right with you. Apologies. The technical difficulty. We're going to go back here. It's going to be a Yale Bulldog line out. Good result there. It's going to be just inside the 40. Ball in off the top there. A little messy, but taken. Kind of McClellan. McClellan's going to put it in the midfield. Friedman's going to find a break, toppling over a little bit of that Columbia defense. Columbia player trapped in there. We'll see if Yale can get this one away. Referee McIver says, indeed, there is room. McClellan will go to the boot again. Nice high one. He's going to bounce inside the 22 off the hands of a Columbia player. Columbia dodges by one. They're inside their 22 again. Been here quite a bit, but able to withstand it. Ball ripped by a Yale player, then ripped by a Columbia player. With a to and fro here from these teams. Penalty against Yale again. Players not rolling away on the ground. That time it's Nick Heyman, the Seattle Washington senior. Taking their time are the Lions. Going to go quick from inside their 22. This is a fascinating 95-degree decision from the Columbia Lions. They're at midfield. They've got runners either way. They might have something cooked up here. Take a bash right at the 22. Ball slips in underneath. For a reason they possibly should have taken that penalty kick and pushed it downfield. Right on it are the Bulldogs. Bulldogs forcing this Columbia team back. They've gone from their 22 back to their 5-meter line. Bit of trouble here for the Lions. They're going to have to sort something out. Player in is Gus Buck trying to rip that one away. He can't quite get it. The Jacksonville, Florida archaeology major. Ball into the try zone. Kicked out. It doesn't make touch, but knocked on there by Halverson. Going to be a scrum at the 22. Clear lane for Halverson as well. Columbia gets themselves into trouble, gets themselves out. And a good result at the end for them with a scrum in front of the 22 for the Lions. Ball in from the Lions. Lions at their 22. A little more structure here than they came from that penalty as they put a player straight through a hole. A big run coming for the Lions. Thinks about the kick. Takes the hit at midfield. Able to stay up. Offloaded to one of his teammates.
John, what are you doing?
Little chip forward for Columbia. Open space inside the 22. Yale streaming back on it, but ball just gets tapped into touch. It is going to be a Columbia line out deep in the Yale end. A little bit of mistake there from the Bulldogs. Ball up to Varela, the prop, jumping into the try zone. Blocked by a Columbia player here. Touchdown by Yale. It's going to be a goal line dropout from that. Under a lot of pressure will the Bulldogs. Stretch telling the team just to calm down. Take a long kick here from Nick Heyman. Goal line dropout, straight out in front of the 22, knocked on by the Columbia player. That is a wonderful result, exactly what Yale would really want from something like that. As we'll take another look at the line out here. Ball comes up to Varela, long looping pass back there. No time for McClellan to get that one away. Good block by Columbia. They just put the ball into that goal line dropout space, then knocked it on. It's going to be a scrum here for the Bulldogs. Bulldogs putting the ball in from the tight head side is Falco. Ball comes out. They're going to go back to the right-hand side. A little pass. Get the ball to Heyman. Heyman shows the ball. Stays inside. Big scuffle coming from Columbia, but illegally so. Going to be a penalty against the Lions. Yale going to calm down again as we're just under the 30-minute mark. See some of the Yale staff. Matt Sparkles Callan walking down the sideline. Craig Wilson joined by Mark Downs, Nikita Guryakov, Matt Sparkles Callan, Bob Husher, and defense coach Liam Quinn. Coaching staff at Yale University. Columbia coached by Dan Kennedy. Neverman to put this one in again. Ball up to the front. Falco gets McClellan. He's going to go in behind the runners. They didn't add much of a decoy there. No motion as the ball comes up to the wing. Players a little bit isolated. A little chip ahead. Ball outside the 22. Under pressure is a Columbia backline player. Able to get the ball away. Back there on 22. Familiar territory during this game for this Columbia team. A lot of positional pressure from this Yale Bulldog side, keeping them down there. Forward. Hard running there from the Lions. Lions, a long one inside the 22. They're going to go to the boot this time. Yale players, just one back there. Comes into the hands. Going to go for the long raking kick. And that one may go directly in a touch. So the referee is going to bring it back to where it was kicked from. You can see referee McIver. See the kick there came from in front of the 22 and went directly out of bounds or in touch. So they bring it back to where it kicked it from. In front of that 22-meter line, you have to hit the ground. Just a bit of a mistake there. Happens to a lot of coaches, or a lot of players, pardon me. Long line out there from Columbia. Doesn't quite go to hand, but bounces back their way nonetheless. In the midfield, again, they've been losing some meters off of these lineouts and set plays. 32 minutes gone, 8 minutes left in this first half. Yale ball opportunity. Short pass up there to Friedman. Falco gets that ball up to Flanagan. Flanagan able to get the ball back, couldn't quite handle it, gets it to Colin Walton. Flanagan gets it back, hands up, looking for a little pass there, was going to take it into contact. Cross in the midfield they go, had a runner outside him, but couldn't quite get it there. Now they do up to Steverman. Steverman has to take the tackle. He's at his own 40-meter line. Get runners and numbers off to the right-hand side here if they can get quick ball. Calling for it are the forwards. Put that one in through Atkinson. The pick and go off the back, but referee spots a knock on. Or an accidental offside, so he's going to award a scrum here to the Lions. Six and a half minutes to go on the game clock. Could be a little less than that. The referee, McIver, monitoring this, has a word with the Columbia captain. Another scrum here for Columbia. Still 0-0. Good squeeze there from the Lions. Able to get clean ball out. Not forward, front ball. Ball goes to the ground. Little mistake there. Taken away by the Bulldogs. Bulldogs on the move now. Ball back in the hands of Heyman. Heyman gets it out. Gets it back. Heyman tries to barrel over one. Ball squirts out of his hands again. So we're going to have a choice here for the Columbia Lions. Knock on by the Bulldogs. Went directly into touch. So I believe Columbia will have a choice whether they want a line out or a scrum. Scrum has been pretty solid for the Lions. You would think that would be their choice, and it is indeed as they move themselves up there. Another Columbia scrum. Clear this time. Looking to go wide. Ball goes out. Player met immediately by defender. Two players have pinched in on him. We'll see if some room's up for the Lion. It did, but is quickly cut down by Colin Walton. Heyman comes in to lend a hand. Penalized for not rolling away on the ground. Have to move away a bit quicker than that to the Bulldogs' backs. Maybe another penalty at we're over the 35-minute mark here. Lions chance to push this one down. Across the 40-meter line, but still inside their own half. Columbia Lions with first half time winding down, all tied up here in this Ivy League matchup. Ivy League, NCR, Liberty Conference, Columbia University. Founded in 1961, this rugby club. Columbia, five-man lineout, walk themselves in. Looking to the middle, ball comes up. Little bouncer out there as they go to the boot again. Driven back, but well taken by Stretch. Stretch looking a couple directions, cuts a couple ways, hangs onto the ball, gets to the 50-meter line. Columbia captain in there trying to snaffle that one away, but nothing coming. Little tip pass in the middle of the field. Ball slips out of the hands. Referee didn't spot it. Steverman has it. Steverman's going to gain some ground. Steverman, good footwork there to keep himself alive. Yale could get a little quicker ball. McClellan finds a runner. Barella steps one. The big prop can set down scrums, jumping lineouts, step players in the field. Little fancy footwork there. Wonderful. McClellan, again, looks to the boot to play the positional game. It's inside the 22 of the Lions. has a bounce. 4 defenders on it. Ball goes back, however, into the hands of Columbia. In trouble, down in their own end again. Big hit from Atkinson, a little up high, but referee says it's okay. Now a pot of forwards trying to get outside their own 22 are these Columbia Lions. Been stuck inside their 22 quite a lot of this game. Down the stretch. Good run from Stretch. Finds his way around. Continues on, looking for a runner. Gets the ball up to Steverman. Steverman takes a hit, gets to McClellan. He can only bury his head. Another player down for each team here. Look to be okay in getting up. Ball up to Atkinson. Atkinson about 30 meters out from this Columbia line. Columbia defense pretty well matched up. Varela goes for the little chip kick. Varela playing a rugby for 11 years. He's got a bag of tricks on him. Picking it up, working his way after the kick. Varela doing everything right now. He has been all over the field. Wonderful work by Liam Varela. Varela, after his move, they move it wide a little bit. Player off their feet there for Columbia. Going to need to be careful. Penalty advantage. Referee McIver spots him. McClellan comes. McClellan steps one. McClellan finds some space. Going to be able to get this one away. Gets it to Stretch. Stretch is one to beat. Stretch had to cut himself back in. Body slam for his efforts, but going to be able to recycle it. Still under penalty advantage are the Bulldogs. Steverman at the 5-meter line. There's a big space off here to the left-hand side if they can capitalize. Bulldogs need to spot this one. They're going to come back for the penalty from referee McIver. The initial one. They're going to go quickly. It's Heyman. Heyman gets hit. I believe the advantage is still there for players not 10. Columbia going to need to watch out here. May wind up with some less players in the field. Big Gus Buck heads over, and Gus Buck will touch it down. First 5 points of the game. First 5 points for the Bulldogs league season. It is Gus Buck, the junior from Jacksonville, Florida, and the McCallie School. Just 1 year of rugby under his belt, but what a powerful player. We see a great work there by Heyman to take that win and set it up. Buck just had eyes for the try line. Right over he goes. Wonderful, wonderful work there by the big prop. 5 points to the good. Kick to come. Lining up is Nico Vermont. Haven't seen a ton of Vermont today. The senior from Marquette, Michigan. Environmental studies major. That one is good. So 7-0 late in the first half for the Yale Bulldogs as they lead the Columbia Lions.
Clean kick off. Clean kick off. Clean. Keep it clean. No mistakes. Switch on. Switch on. Switch on. Look at them, boys. Look at the body language. Come on. Let's fucking go, boys.
Yeah, the Yale bench there, pretty happy to keep this game going. They're at 40 minutes in the game clock. This may be the last play of the game, but we're in referee's time.
They got nothing.
Stop for injuries and foul play, other things. So he is the arbiter of the time here. Columbia very slow to get to the line here. Nice high kick from Columbia. Fielded inside the 22 by the Bulldogs. Bulldogs looking to run here. Stretch looking for some space and finds it. Stretch through a couple more. Stretch through a third. Awesome players like Ragdolls. McClellan, great link player this game. Little tip pass out there looking for space. Had a couple of runners out wide they could have gone with, but decided to just take it into contact. Referee on the spot as Heyman picks that one up. and go there from the Bulldogs. Ripped away by the Lions. Players over that Lions player, but able to recycle it are Columbia. Columbia late in the half here. Opportunity to draw level or at least closer. Move that one out. A little bit forward from here, but referee in a good spot to see it. That one definitely knocked on. Referee spots it. Knocked on, and that will be the end of our first half. Late try from the Yale Bulldogs. Yale Bulldogs 7, Columbia Lions 0. We'll be back with second half action in just a couple of minutes.
Hey, everyone, before we connect, boys, let's get some breath. Before we connect, everybody lay down, sit down, catch your breath. Oh, everyone connect. No, water, wait with the water, wait with the water. Wait with the water, wait with the water. Ready, boys?
Jack's going into you, all right? Practice my rights.
Okay, boys, let's connect now. Stay where you are, but listen up. Let's connect now.
Listen up, boys.
On me. 1, 2, 3, dogs! Boys, can we get the waters refilled, please?
Welcome back to Yale Rugby Complex, New Haven, Connecticut. Beautiful Yale University on this very hot and humid Saturday afternoon in New Haven, Connecticut, where the Yale Bulldogs, you see there in Yale blue and white, lead 7-0 over Ivy League foe Columbia University. 7-0, a lot to play for. Referee Miles McIver having a great game. A lot of back and forth. Players just starting off their season here. A little bit of rust. Coaches can see they have a bit to work on, but see they have a bit to work with as well. Coach Craig Wilson for the Bulldogs. Coach Dan Kennedy for the Lions.
Defense here. Defense.
Yale will be running from right to left on your screen in this second half. As I said, in the Yale blue, it's Nick Heyman to kick this one off. Referee McIver just counting out some numbers. Second half has been whistled into action here. Yale kicks off. They lead by 7. Just a converted try. They played most of that half in the Columbia zone, and they will start out that way again as they'll be right near the 5-meter line with the line out. Good attacking position here. Early mistake from the Lions. You see the Bulldog horde moving down the field. Ball up to the middle. Doesn't get that high. Back down. Stemmerman receives it. Stemmerman, the number 8, works his way in. Forwards for Columbia. All there. If they have some space, it may pay off for him. Nearly through is Drew Friedman. Ball coming across. McClellan has a dummy runner in front of him, but the space is going to close down. Hayden stretch. Gets it back to Heyman. Heyman takes on 2 Columbia defenders. Able to get to the ground. Falco Emery moves that one. Stemmerman. Again in the contact. Columbia player. There's a penalty advantage for a player not rolling away. Penalty here to the Bulldogs. See if they decide to go quick. He's going to have to get up. He has ball in hand. Aiden Stretch is going to go quick. He's got no time to waste. Aiden Stretch sees the post. Aiden Stretch sees the line. Aiden Stretch 5 points. 12 points to 0. Yale over Columbia. Just a minute and a half gone in the second half. You see here, Aiden Stretch just takes the advantage there. Disorganized defense from Columbia. Columbia just getting their season started this week, really, with even practices. So getting organized is Coach Kennedy. Taking advantage of it are the Yale Bulldogs. Aiden Stretch. Kick afterwards is good. We're at 14-0.
Mark, tell him I want it back down there.
Waiting for the kickoff are the Bulldogs now in a good lead here. 2 tries. This heat is going to make fitness a factor. We'll see how that goes.
One of you wanted the goal line. Where's the rest of it? Greg. Quick. Can you go for these up? They're not ready. What's that ball was hit?
Here's the ball. Here's the ball. Let's go. 0-0, yeah.
Columbia ready to kick off, taking their time about it here. Referee McIver happy to have a little breather, I suppose. Bulldogs ready to receive. pounding their problems. Ball doesn't go 10 first. Now it does. It's up in their hands. And they get to come back with a nice little pass back inside to the Lions. Like Jason McCord taking that one in. Little pick and go off the back. Down by 2 tries. Looking at the 22 of the Bulldogs, keeping that one tight. Players isolated. He's going to have to get that ball back. Good job by the Columbia support there. Get there just in time. All right, from Palmer. The penalty for offsides against the Bulldog. The Columbia ball about 30 meters out.
Discipline, boys!
Jaja gives it to one of his players there. Argelis. Columbia puts that one in a touch. Be there, line out just inside the 22 of the Bulldogs. Columbia set to put this one in, about 18 meters out. To the middle of the line out they go, taken away nearly by the Bulldogs. Didn't go forward off of the Columbia line, so referee McIver says that's okay. They can go with the back from Columbia. Not gaining much ground. Pop that one up into Harrison Riley's hands. Gained contact there. Ripped away by the Bulldogs. Good work on the turnover. There should be some runners out wide. But keeping it tight is Timothy Atkinson into contact. Where are they going to go with this? Going to go to McClellan. McClellan's going to go to the boot. McClellan a little time to spy some green grass there and finds it. Ball hits the ground. Ball's with one of the Columbia players. Well tackled by Nico Vermont. Vermont in over that. Taken away by Heyman. Heyman breaks the line. Heyman looking for some runners. Tries to get it back to Nico Vermont, but knocked on again. Might have been better just holding on to that one. But the player was there because he got it. There's going to be yet another Columbia scrum.
Just watch when he goes.
Second time!
From to Columbia inside their zone. Inside their half, I should say. See their 40-meter line right there. Backs having a little discussion of what to do. Free kick here to Yale. Pushing early is Columbia. You can hear Coach Craig, the contact coach, Wilson, through there calling it. Player is not 10. This is definitely going to be a penalty. Could result in a yellow card. Yale wants to go quick here. Falco Emery. Another free kick a little closer. Referee's going to wait until the team does indeed get back 10. They cannot kick this directly out and get a line out, so we'll see what they decide to do with it. Most likely going to run it. Big Gus Buck, the try scorer, standing right there. Gus Buck, the obvious target. Gus Buck, the absolute target. Has Varela on his back, gets through the first couple, stays alive to the ground, gets the ball back well. Coming across from Falco Emery. McClellan going wide this time to their center pod. Center pod taking that ball just a little static. Ball pops up in the air. Columbia dives on it. Referee is going to stop and most likely hand out a card here. the mild-mannered Miles McIver holds off on the yellow card and just gives a penalty there. Realizes his first game for some of these guys, just hands on the ground there. Yale players would have preferred that, but they're going to go for the post. Aiden stretch points right towards them. A chance for an extra 3 points here. Put them pretty well clear for the moment. Would it Yale over Columbia in this first game of the season? See referee McIver talking to some of the players there. Nico Vermont lining this one up. Nico Vermont, soccer and baseball player. Basketball player in high school in Wisconsin. Able to slot that one, no problem. So 17-0. Yale lead Columbia here in week 1 of their league season.
Fight for 5, boys! Fight for 5! Remains the same call, just goes 10 yards down.
Clean catch, boys! Clean catch! Get down there!
That's like the 3rd short on the season today, though.
Columbia taking their time again.
You can keep, so like in the scrum, driving early is not, that'll be a short arc. Not that one, George.
Waiting for a rugby ball. One appears eventually. Pretty critical part of the game. Having that rugby ball as they're going to kick off again. Will Columbia down 17-0. Just over 10 minutes gone in this second half. 40-minute halves here at the Yale Rugby Complex. Westville section of Connecticut. Right behind Yale legendary baseball field. The Yale Bowl is this great field. We're going to come back for the knock-on against Yale. Scrum to Columbia. Referee McIver right on the spot for that one. Referee McIver gets them together with a cadence. Ball into Columbia. They've been pretty strong in the scrums here so far. Palmer moves it away into the hands of Thaler. Finally, moving it wide are the Columbia Lions. Sorry for the technical difficulties. We are back. Occasional internet squabbles here at Yale. We're going to come back for a scrum for Columbia, the Lions. Hope to be able to bring you the rest of this matchup. From here to Columbia. Ball out there from Columbia. They're going to do a little chip over the defensive line, trying to get the ball for him and heads towards the touchline. Player rolled in the cut. Come to a Yale lineout. Thinking there by Columbia, trying to get in behind the defensive line. They need the points as the time is slipping away from here. Still plenty. Little hold up here. Referee having a discussion. Varela will be the line out thrower for this one. Not jumping anymore. They got a couple of reserves in. Little miscue, but they're going to bring that one down. Deverman hit it straight away. Ball back to McClellan. McClellan again finding lots of space with the boot today. Well played by him in these first 55 minutes. Plenty of time to go. 25. Columbia inside their own half on the attack again. Need to put some points on the board soon as I can just barrel that one forward. Nice defensive drive there from the Bulldogs. They're going to have to roll away. Referee McIver on the spot for that one. They do. Ball comes out to this left-hand side. Little knock forward. Wasn't intentional. It was indeed. Referee spots it. Player has to attempt to catch it. He just had to knock that down. So it went forward. And it will be a penalty for the Columbia Lions. Long kick down inside the Yale half. Yale set up, players coming in, setting up the 5-man line out for Columbia. Yeah. Counting the numbers there, they get the ball down eventually to one of their waiting players. Kind of a little trickery, trying to get a penalty out of this team. Ball squirts up into the hands, taken away by the Columbia players, not releasing, so it's going to be a penalty for the Bulldogs. Bulldogs player tries to barrel right into one of the Columbia defenders. But eventually it gets to 10, so no problem there. Jack Olsen, number 16 in the game, was over that ball. McClellan again playing the position game, finding some grass, rolling it down, rolling into the touch. Good tactic in this heat. Burn some time off of that clock and force Columbia to play from inside their 22. They tried to run from inside their 22 in the first half, got pushed back right to their try zone. Nearly gave up some points on that one. So good moves here from this Yale team, and it's a 50-22. So the ball is going to be a line out for the Yale Bulldogs. A very intelligent play. Ball to the center of the line out. Didn't even really need to jump for Columbia, but they're inside their 22. You can hear the defensive line for Yale shouting there, trying to get a move in. Columbia looking to go wide and run from inside their 22. The intent and the endeavor is there, but it might not work out. Well, number 18 is going to have to watch out as Sharma came over the shoulder there, so we have an advantage. Not from that, but referee McIver had his arm up towards Columbia, thought it was an advantage, possibly not. They go a little wide, ball slips off the hands. Referee says it went back, so that's fine. Columbia's going to keep running. Again, mired at their own 22. Good, strong Bulldogs defense, keeping them down there. See if somebody can break the line. Somebody has. Ducks in a tackle there, so it shouldn't be a high tackle, but player off his feet, diving right over. Columbia's going to go quick on that one. Player came in from 10, is going to get yellow carded immediately as a Yale player, trying to plead that he came from 10. He may have done so. We'd have to see that on the film. The player did try to come from a little further back that time.
I was so bad. You're the fullback. I was the fullback. Is he fucking high? Wait, was that it? Water break?
Water break coming here at the 60-minute mark. We're halfway through the second half, 17-0 to Yale. Columbia stuck on their own end, but trying a few things. We'll come back with the final quarter of this game just after this. Welcome back. Water break done. 20 minutes of rugby action coming for you here at Yale University. Leads Columbia 17-0. You're in New Haven, Connecticut. That one doesn't quite go straight, but a referee's going to allow it to go. Players across the 22. Good big rangy run coming here from Columbia, trying to get the ball back in. It's in the hands. It's on the ground. Columbia have scored their first 5-pointer. Great individual play. A little interplay between a couple of their forwards, puts him in the try zone. Good work, Columbia, 5 points. Looked like the big Jason McCord, number 4, touched that one down. Well, they come to him. Tough to see these numbers. We apologize. Columbia light-colored jerseys with a white number on them. Makes it very difficult to see from this distance, so we're trying to do the best we can to bring you a visual of them. Kick is not going to make it. We'll stay at 17-5 Yale. Yale to kick this one off. Second half rolls on here. Long kick from the Bulldogs inside the 22. Ball bounces back towards Columbia, but well taken by Yale. Little break opens up to the side of McClellan, but the shirt tackle is going to hold him in. Falco Emery gets the ball out to Liam Varela. Varela, for my money, one of the players of the match for the Bulldogs today. Penalty against Columbia, infraction in the breakdown there. We do have a yellow card against Yale at the moment, playing without their captain, Aiden Stretch. Came in quick on a free kick there. Referee thought he wasn't 10. Awarded it for cynical play. Stretch did not agree, but is off the field anyway. Referee McIver, the ultimate decision maker there, as the player is getting treated for cramp here. 95 degrees, not a surprise. Long kick from the Bulldogs puts them inside the Columbia 22. Just one try scored on them so far, so the Bulldogs would love to get some more points and extend this lead, put themselves in safer territory as they're up by 12 at the moment. The classic Yale baseball stadium in the background there. Legendary facility of that sport. Players as far back as Albie Booth playing in Yale Field. Ball to the front there to big Gus Buck. Gus Buck never shy about going forward. Gus Buck pumping those feet. Players coming in from Columbia, going to have to release, and they do. McClellan's going to move it a little wider. Ball up into the hands of Friedman. Friedman makes a little bit of ground. Victor ball would help the Bulldogs here, but players coming in, not keeping their body weight, rolling right over it. So it's Columbia's going to go away with this one. It's going to be their penalty about 7 meters out from their own line. And they are going to go quick off of this mark. This didn't work out for them in the first half. See how it does this time. They have 85 meters to go from this spot. We'll see how they do. Put it into the big boys' hands. Just playing tight here. Will this result in a mistake? The Bulldogs players, good counter ruck. Referee says that's fine. Yale's going to play. And they get turned over again. We'll see where it comes down to. An advantage out here for not rolling away against Columbia. They're going to slow this one down. They're at the 22-meter line. Stretches off the field, so alternate leadership is going to step in. We're going to go for post. Take some time off the clock. 15 minutes gone. Sorry, 25 minutes gone in the second half. 15 minutes left. Yale will look for the 3 points here. Vermont lines this one up well within his range. Gus Buck having a little chat with referee McIver. That one is good. We're going to move to 20 points to 5. Yale over Columbia. 14 minutes left on the game clock. Columbia need to dig deep here for some points.
Discipline, boys. Discipline.
The restart from the Lions comes down into the hands of Heyman. Heyman gets across field. Ball gets deflected. They're going to go for a quick boot, however, finding space. Keeping the Columbia Lions down there into the field. Lions at their own 50. Tackled by Atkinson. Ball back there, but a big hit. McClellan gets a hold of it. McClellan not held, but he's going to go into the ruck anyway. Big pickup there from Atkinson. I believe he got hit by a player who was wildly offsides. Ball back here for the Bulldogs. They have the width. A little pass in there would be a big help. Ball gets to Jack Pankey. Haven't seen a ton of Pankey so far this game. Pankey, the freshman from Atlanta, Georgia. Ball across from Falco Emery. But it goes back this time. Dominic Gearing has to clean this one up. Gearing tries to hand off a player. Gearing gets it to the ground. McClelland feeds it out. Nice little tip pass there. Ball goes to Heyman. Heyman turns it over. Ball in the hands of McPepple. Jaja, captain for Columbia, powering his way forward. DJ on the weekends. They're down for Columbia around the action here. They made it to stop this one. Another cramping player. Ball taken away from Yale. Yale, McClellan puts that one inside the 22, straight down to a Columbia player. Columbia looking for some width here, not going to find it. Well tackled. Ball slips over the back of the first Columbia player in the hands of another one. Yale defense a little slow to assemble here. Heat maybe getting them just a bit. Ball out here from Columbia. Columbia, player, a big hit there. Good challenge from the Bulldogs. Going to go to the boot after being stuck on their own end. Tenacious Bulldog defense. Ball bounces. Gets knocked on by a Yale player. Handled by another one. So that's actually going to go back to a penalty. The player should have just let it go, Vermont. But easy to do as the ball is pushed forward from one of his teammates. Going to be a Columbia penalty as it's 20 points to 5. Scoreboard needs to be changed here. And kick to come down into the corner. Line out here for Columbia, deciding on their strategy and tactics before they go forward. Little miscue there. We're just going to wind up in the tail of the lineout. Player working his way forward from Columbia. Late surge. We're just over the 70-minute mark. Under 10 minutes to go. Player diving over. Referee on the spot. Doesn't think he made it in there. Gus Buck gets hauled down eventually. Gus Buck looked like he was going to go the 100 meters but didn't make it. Columbia thought they might have scored but didn't make the try zone. McClellan, such a cool, calm player back there, gets hit for his troubles. You can see the sail on that ball coming right by our camera, one of our cameras. We're taking a look here. The Columbia player comes in. Looks like he just loses the ball right there. Doesn't get it down. Doesn't get it down into the try zone. So well played by Buck. And Buck right in the spot, really showing today. Buck, young player, junior, has only played for a year. 5'10". Ball up from Columbia. Good line out. Goes to the tail that time. Pass, however, puts them back about 20 meters. They're at their own 40-meter line. Another one hits the ground. Little bobbles coming and a big break coming from the Bulldogs. Ball back in and not handled. Tremendous opportunity there for the centers for the Bulldogs, but not going to hand as Heyman to Walton doesn't happen. So it's going to be a scrum. 72 minutes, 8 minutes to go on the game clock inside the Columbia 22. Inside their own 22, Columbia Lions, time winding down. Palmer looks for that little pass, doesn't go. Players just going to have to kick it ahead. We've got an advantage here against Yale. Again, just another little miscue there. It happens. Columbia, they look like they're going to run it again, and they are. Inside their 22, and off they go. Daring play here. Hasn't resulted in much for them all day. 7 minutes to go in this heat, wearing down and tired. Not sure about that as a tactic, but they do need the points. They want to get back into this. They're 15 points down. That little shovel pass back doesn't happen. A little scuffle going on here between a couple of the players. The referee wants to speak with somebody. Referee wants to see the captains as well. It seems the captain is still in the bin. Brings over Varela. Referee just wants them to talk to their teams and calm it down here for the last 6 minutes or so. Coach Dan Kennelly in the background there in the light blue shirt right by the flag. Looking on, Dan, an accomplished rugby player and coach. Wonderful human being as well. Looking after the Columbia team these days. Played for our national team in the United States. Ball down to Yale. Doesn't make touch. Yale goes for the boot again. Ball inside the 22 of Columbia, but went back, so able to play it. They're going to move this one, try to move it a little wider. This player is isolated. Yale player is coming in lower. That's the freshman Olsen. Apple Jaja takes that one in. Columbia, as ever, intent to run from inside their own 22. 5 minutes left on the game clock. Gus Buck First tries to shove, then wrestles a player to the ground. Player in Yale, he's over. Is he going to be able to snaffle that one away? Referee, well, it's a couple penalties. First one player coming off his feet for the Bulldogs. So here comes Columbia. Columbia just inside their own 40-meter line. There's a break. Yale defense trying to slow this down. Columbia working their way in. Big hit coming in from the Lions. Columbia getting up wide here, looking to get it into some space. Player cuts back in. At their own 40-meter line, turnover. Heyman has a hold of it this time again. Heyman been there on the spot for a lot of these. Making some ground. Player's going to have to come in. Sharma works his way out. Ball comes back to Gearing. Referees spotted the original knock-on. Screening back for a scrum here to the Bulldogs. Just outside the Columbia 22. Falco Emery yet again to put this one in from Hong Kong. Went to the Chinese International School, played at rugby and soccer. Sophomore at Yale. Penalty against Columbia in that scrum. Players driving in the wrong direction. Back to a penalty to Yale. We'll see what they decide to do. Players coming up a little slow. Line out coming here for the Yale Bulldogs, the 22 of Columbia. Front of the line if they go. A little change up there. That one's going to get knocked down into the hands of one of the Columbia players. Ball pops down, winds up in McClellan's hands. McClellan's had a wonderful game. Gets the ball out there to Friedman. Friedman into contact. Yale working the ball back as we're at a minute and a half left in the game. A run coming from one of the reserves. Jalen Sharma takes that one in. Ball out to Gus Buck. Does Gus Buck have another one in him? Gus Buck able to get through a couple. Gus Buck going to be a tired fella after this one. Player not rolling away there for Columbia, but ref's going to let it go. Falco has a ball again. Falco Emery, that is. Varela, another front rower, having a big day today. Ball to McClellan. McClellan feeds it on. Rushing Heyman. Heyman caught up again. Outside defense been pretty strong for this Columbia team. Friedman goes to the ground. Ball up to Olsen. First-year player takes it in. McClellan thought he was calling for it, but the ball comes back to Pankey. Pankey can't get too far. Buck standing in first receiver on this side. They're going to go to the other, to Varela. Two props as first receivers. Fairly interesting. Batted back there by Pepel Jaja. He's at the 22. Columbia, a late opportunity here. 5 seconds on the game clock. Penalty against the Bulldogs. Columbia going to go quick. Referee says you can do that, but you have to do it from over here. Brings it back to the mark. We are at 80 minutes on the game clock, so we're in referee's time. Columbia looking down the short side. Columbia can't quite make it. Player near the touchline. Ball back up. Knock on advantage here for Columbia. Waning seconds of this game. Columbia on the move, down by 15 points. Game out of reach for them at the moment. Ball kicked up into the hands of the Bulldogs. Referee sees it. Spots a knock on. Takes a look at his watch. Sees a little time left to go. As I said, we're in referee's time here. Referee calls together what may be the last scrum of the game here at Yale Fields. Ball out one more time, looking for a little runner coming in the offsides. Now they have some space. Ball up over the top. Haven't seen this man get too much time on the ball. He does now. Big run, taken out by the shoelaces by the captain, Stretch. Stretch coming in back around. He's been off with a yellow card already, so want to be a bit careful around the breakdown here, trying to get in. Trying to make up for some lost time here. Off the ball, scuffle there. Nothing going to happen. Swinging handbags, as it's called in this sport. Coming off to the left-hand side. There's plenty of room out wide if Columbia can get it out there. 2 minutes into extra time here. Ball knocked on again. Referee spots it. Sees the knock-ons. Takes a look at his watch. And that is the end of our contest in this Liberty Conference Ivy League matchup. It is going to be Yale 20, Columbia 5. That's the end of it. As you see the players shaking hands after a hot one. They're going to deserve a nice cool water after this. That's the end of our game for everyone at Next Level Rugby. We'd like to thank Miles McIver, the referee, the players, the fans, the coaches from Yale and Columbia. For Next Level Rugby, we have Chris and Dan, our cameramen. We have Mike Baker in the technical seat, Ryan, the man with the plan, Ginty. And I am John Broker. It's been Next Level Rugby. We'll see you at a later rugby game.
Cheers for Yale! Fuck you, Rugby!